Hello, welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 249. My name's Adam Patterson. I'm joined today by Kevin Rakestraw. How are you, Kevin?
Tired.
Tired?
Tired.
Doing some yard work? Is that what you're doing out there?
Yeah, doing that gardening.
Doing some gardening? All right.
Doing them gardens.
Planting some herbs?
I haven't planted any herbs yet. We're getting there. We're getting them herbs out there.
Doing some tomatoes?
Getting those tomatoes.
Nice. I don't like tomatoes, but I think it's cool that you're planting them.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Doing it just for you. Great. I'm gonna mail all this fucking tomato.
Mail me bushels of tomatoes.
I'm gonna smash them all too. Put them in a box, smash them. That box that I still have from Ryan that's completely full of packing peanuts. Let's smash all the tomatoes, put them in that box, and mail them to you.
Would you put them in the box and just leave them in your garage for like 3 months and then mail them to me? So I get a giant box of rotted tomatoes.
Oh god, I should.
Yep. This week on the show, we'll be reviewing Rob Meyer's Little Boxes. We'll be going over some of what we've been watching on the watch list, along with a roundup of new releases in theaters, VOD, and Blu-ray. Remember, you can join in on the conversation by sending us an email at podcast@filmpulse.net or sending us a tweet to @filmpulsenet. And if you like what you hear, consider helping us out by donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmpulse for just $1 a month to help us keep the show going.
Get a speech therapy maybe.
I know, right? God. Flubbing all over the place this week. Speaking of Patreon, we have decided to remove all the ads from our site. So when you go to filmpulse.net, you will no longer see any ads. That means that we are going to be relying entirely on Patreon to help fund the site. Now, if you're not really familiar with what we do, it's everybody at Film Pulse does this for the love of cinema. So we don't draw a paycheck from it. Any money that we get from the Patreon just goes to keeping the site and the podcast and the hosting costs and all that stuff going. So every little bit counts. Like I said, it's only $1 a month. That's $12 a year. That's, a movie ticket. Unless you're in Manhattan, then it's half a movie ticket. So again, patreon.com/Film Pulse. We appreciate it so very much. And we're going to have all kinds of bonus things for patrons as well in the future. Now, before we get into our first review, I got to talk about this Thor trailer, Kevin. Can I talk about it?
No, moving on.
So you
can talk about
the teaser trailer for Thor Ragnarok came out this week, and I was excited for it. Our boy Taika Waititi directing it, so I was anticipating it. Teaser trailer drops, mind blown. Blown.
Oh,
I was so excited for this. I'm more excited for this now than I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I was pretty excited about. Now, I had you watch the teaser as well. What did you think?
Oh, it looked pretty good. I don't know, because I haven't seen a good number of Marvel films. I was just kind of like, I didn't really know who any of these people are besides Thor. I didn't even recognize the Incredible Hulk at first. When he got all excited and he was like, I know him from work. I'm just like, who is he? And then when they did like the super close up of his face, I was like, okay, I got you.
Okay.
Is there an event? Is they're just putting them all together? Is that what we're doing now? It's just
I mean,
movie, but also a Doctor Strange movie and also a Thor movie.
I mean, for the most part, since phase 2 and phase 3 have been they've been kind of commingled. So there's at least guest spots from the other people in the solo movies. I don't think anybody was in Doctor Strange. That was just their own thing.
Well, I'm just saying because it's on the cast list that has Doctor Strange on here.
For you're talking about for Thor. I meant
yeah.
I meant like for the actual Doctor Strange movie. They're everybody's going to be kind of connected. It's all in the same world, so it stands to reason that these super powered beings would interact with one another at some point.
Yeah. It feels like, and I don't know if you'll 100% get what I'm trying to go for here. It's like if you have a favorite rapper, right? and they come out with an album, and you're like, man, I can't wait to listen to this. But the entire thing is just overloaded with guest spots, and they only end up having like 4 verses
Well,
because it's just a bunch of other people on it.
yeah,
That's
sure.
kind of what like Marvel movies feel like now.
Um, I don't entirely agree with that. I mean, I can totally see if you don't like one of the characters and they happen to be in one of the other movies that you are excited about. But I feel like the guest spots are limited enough that it doesn't really detract from the main person's film, except for the case of Civil War, in which case technically that was a Captain America movie, but everybody had a huge chunk of screen time in that. Everybody was in that, so I kind of agree with
Well,
that.
I also got to point out this is based on not seeing any of them, so it could be just complete bullshit.
Well, I think Thor Ragnarok is going to be one that you should consider seeing.
Well, yeah, I will, considering the director.
Yeah, I
I
think
have
that
no interest in Thor whatsoever. Like,
just well,
I don't like
no,
Thor.
me neither. Out of all of the current Marvel Studios slate, like his movies are always to me the weakest ones because I also am not a big fan of Thor, and the movies they're fine, but they weren't anything amazing to me. This one looks completely different. It looks wildly different than the other ones. It looks like they're going for a much more comedic approach. This one looks like it's largely going to be taking place in some other galaxy or something. It looks like it's going to be in space or something. And it looks like there's going to be some really interesting characters in it. I like Jeff Goldblum in there. Kate Blanchett as the villain. You kidding me?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Sign me up, please. And there's in that teaser trailer there were a couple little Easter eggs for some of Taika Waititi's other movies too. There was a Ricky Baker tag in one of the scenes if you look in the background.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think that it's going to be really fun. So I'm excited for Thor Ragnarok. I think it's what's interesting, like Guardians of the Galaxy sort of has this style too, and Thor Ragnarok definitely does, especially with the music they played and then like the kind of the title card for it. It's got this like 70s sci-fi vibe to it, which I feel like we haven't really seen a lot of that except for I felt like the first Guardians of the Galaxy was really kind of harkening back to the heavy metal 70s style sci-fi movies, and I feel like the new Thor is going to do the same thing, which I'm kind of digging.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if he delivers the goods.
I think he will. I'm very confident with that. I guess I should also mention that the new Star Wars trailer came out for The Last Jedi. Little teaser for The Last Jedi. To me, this trailer didn't really do a whole lot for me. It got me sort of excited to see it, I guess. There was this one really, really cool scene involving all these ships that were kind of skimming across this planet, and the top of the soil of the planet was white, and the soil like underneath was all red, so it gave this really kind of cool smoky red look as they flew across this planet. That was really cool. Bradford Young doing the cinematography on that one, so Ryan Johnson directing it. Very excited. The teaser didn't really do it for me, but I think the movie itself is going to be incredible. Let's move on. Talk about some little boxes. All I can think about, and I'm sure that this is what it's in reference to, is that that show Weeds, the opening theme song. I can't remember who originally sang that song, but it was like
I think it is. I think it is based after that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, just because of the what that song was all about with like suburbia and all of that.
That's right. The old suburbia.
Gotta
It's a weird place, isn't it?
Yeah, gotta love suburbia. So this is directed by Rob Meyer, written by Annie J. Howell. I have a synopsis here. An interracial family struggles to adjust when they move from New York City to a small, predominantly white town in Washington State. This stars Melanie Linsky, Nelson Ellis, and Armani Jackson. I guess I'll start this one off. So Little Boxes I thought was okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was just kind of right down the middle for me. I felt like they were playing with some really interesting concepts. I like the idea of the interracial family moving into this like predominantly white, probably very liberal kind of suburban area, and just how you have this sort of I don't want to call it casual racism, but that type of racism that is because white people are so overtly trying not to be racist that they are racist. You know what I mean? Like where they're just they try to.
And there's a little bit of all kinds of racism in there because there is some casual racism.
There is, yeah, I guess.
And there's some just like straightforward racism, and then there's just that the essentially just making them feel because they just kind of seem like they're really excited to have a black person.
Right, yeah. Especially like the young girl. I mean, that's like one of the whole kind of plot lines. What's her name? Una Lawrence plays this girl Ambrosia. I mean, come on now.
But yeah, that name just kind of
that sums it all up, doesn't it?
That you can say like the young girl's name is Ambrosia, and that kind of gives you an idea of exactly what kind of development we're working with here. You can kind of map out the whole area just based on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she was just so excited to have a black friend, and then something happens near the end of the movie that really kind of hammers that home, and you're just like, okay, well, I mean, by that point we already knew what her ulterior motives were on this whole thing, but that just solidified everything. The thing about it is it didn't really swing far enough one way or the other with it. Like I felt like if they're looking to tackle something like racism, they didn't really do a lot with that. They didn't have a lot to say about that other than that it exists, that it's something that people have to deal with in these kinds of environments.
And that's kind of what I found kind of peculiar in that was kind of the entire basis of the movie, but for a large chunk of its runtime, it didn't seem like it was comfortable in delving into any of those topics outside of just, like you said, just kind of throwing little spritzes out here and there of like, hey, it exists. And then it's just kind of like towards the end of the film, it seemed like he was running out of time, and it's like, okay, we have to tackle this because this is the whole reason we're making this movie. And then they just kind of rushed through it real quick.
Yeah.
And the movie over. And it's just kind of like, because there was a part of me that was thinking, I was probably like an hour or so into the movie, and I'm thinking, when is there conflict? Are we
there's really,
are we going to tackle something here, or what are we doing? And then I noticed that like I was an hour in, it's like, geez, this is almost over. We really haven't done anything.
Yeah.
I think, to me, the only thing that like captivated me in any way whatsoever was him trying to sniff out that mold.
Yeah, he was really, man. So they move into this house, and Melanie Linsky's character is the only one who has seen the house previously. The dad and the son have not seen the house yet. They move in, and right away, his name's Mac, Nelson Ellis's character. He immediately smells this mold. Like, he knows it's there, and he's on the hunt. He is on the hunt for that mold.
I love it how he's walking out of the door, and he's just like, hold up. It's like, that smells like mold. And then like the rest of the movie is just like him every so often just like trying to hunt out that mold.
And I was like confused. Well, I wasn't confused, but I was wondering, I was like, where are they going to take this? Because it seems like he's going mad. It seems like he is losing his mind over this mold and this situation in this new community that they're living in. And I didn't know which way that they were going to take it, because at first it seems like, Melanie Linsky's character, she's kind of thriving in this new community, whereas Nelson Ellis is really struggling. He's getting he doesn't have a stove to cook on. He's got mold everywhere. He's kind of trapped in this house. He's going stir crazy. Yeah. And then Armani Jackson's character, Clark, he seems to assimilate very quickly. Although I thought it was interesting how you move away from the city and he starts to change himself into the kind of stereotypical black man that these kids want him to be. Mm-hmm. And it's like just a very confusing thing for his parents. Like when he starts using slang terms and stuff that he never used before and starts acting out in that way. I thought that that was kind of interesting, but I also felt like the character of Clark he felt a little bit flat for me. Like I didn't really know what his motivations were, because I get that he was trying to make friends and stuff, but at the beginning of the film, when he's playing chess with his friend in New York and stuff, it seemed like this kid had a really good head on his shoulders, and he seemed to know exactly what he wanted, and have a firm grasp of people. And it seemed awkward to me that he would just so openly want to become friends with these two girls who it seemed like he was very intimidated by at the beginning. And it's like, why would he continue to pursue a friendship with these girls? Like, I just don't really get it. But then again, it could just be a kid thing.
Yeah, it's just those hormones are starting to kick in.
Yeah.
Takes over. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yep, I guess that's what it is.
But yeah, I mean, it was kind of interesting in that way, is that how quickly he does assimilate into it. But I don't know, it just like, especially Linsky's character, it didn't really seem like there was much on her end. Like her, when she's by herself with her new career and stuff, it just didn't really feel like there was anything there.
No, there was that one. So they moved to this town. It's called Rome, I believe. In order for her she gets a new job as a professor at the local college, and she quickly meets up with this group of women who are also professors, and they kind of pull her into their group, and she's trying to fit in, and I really don't know if she was into it or if she didn't really like hanging out with them. She was just trying to do it to, keep everything at a normal level, or what was going on with that. Because then there's something that happens later on that sort of is an issue, I guess, when she's at the bar and she's drinking too much.
Yeah, she drinks a little bit too much. Yeah, it was, I don't know. It's just a lot of little things here and there that it seemed, I don't know, I guess it almost felt like they were just really hoping that all these little tiny bits would kind of pile up and make for something, but it doesn't.
Right.
It's just to me, and I pretty much agree with you, where I didn't necessarily like it. I didn't necessarily hate it. I found it inoffensive and just kind of right down the middle. Like, okay, I guess it constitutes a film.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to remember this thing. I'm not going to remember Little Boxes.
No, unfortunately, I'm not either.
I'm barely remembering it now.
Yeah, I mean, the comedy aspect, I felt was very light on the comedy. I didn't think a lot of it was very funny, but then again, I didn't think a lot of it was intentionally funny either. Like the kind of intentionally funny things, I thought they landed for the most part, but I thought that by and large it was just kind of this. I don't even want to say it was like a coming of age drama, because I felt like that they spent equal parts time with the parents.
Everyone. Yeah.
So it wasn't really a coming of age story either. So it was just kind of a mashup of a lot of different things.
No, it just more came down to like they didn't get their boxes. They just didn't have their stuff.
They did not have their stuff.
Which I don't know if that was trying to make like a comment that they didn't really have like their identities because they didn't have all their stuff that kind of made up who they were. But I don't know.
I don't know either, because
nothing really worked for me outside of like Nelson Ellis.
Yeah,
I liked him. I thought he was pretty good performance.
Yeah, I agree.
And I didn't know going in, all right, that it was Melanie Linsky. I'm sure she's a great person and everything. She's a solid actor. But I'm at the point now with the indies.
It's too much.
When she shows up, I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be one of those movies.
It's too much.
It's like I can't do this. Not another one. Not another one of these.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you on that front.
Slow it down. There's other people working, right? Like, cast somebody else.
Get like Lindsay Burge or one of these other other big indie actresses.
I mean, good for her that she's getting work like crazy left and right, but let's mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's the same character too.
Yeah,
it's the same character every time.
She does. Yeah, she does play the same character, and she was the same character in that that Duplass Brothers show that was on HBO for 2 seasons too. So yeah, I think I'm ready to move on with that.
It's run its course, right?
Getting back to what you were saying about their stuff being linked to their identity, I don't like. At first, I thought that was kind of what they were trying to say as well. But then there's that kind of argument that that Melanie Linsky and Nelson Ellis have regarding that, where he's really pissed that their stuff's not there, and she's like, whatever, it's just your stuff, get over it. And I think that maybe that was kind of that argument kind of played into the idea that was was it. But
I did find that a bit odd too. I'm like, you have nothing. Like, should you not be a little bit more concerned? Like, your stuff has not arrived yet. And that was just a weird. I thought that was a bit odd too, the way that played out with like the moving company.
Yeah,
being pissed off at him and stuff.
And it was like, what? I don't understand what he did. Like, I don't know.
He called a complaint because you guys, like, where were you? They were like going weeks without stuff. Like, it doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
To drive from New York to Washington State.
Yeah, I was a little bit unclear as to why that was all happening. Like that huge conflict between them and the movers. I felt like it was. I don't know. They needed to do more of that. Show another scene of him arguing with them on the phone or something, because I didn't feel like any of that was justified. Like, they have no reason to be so angry about all of this.
And it's really weird too that once that finally comes to fruition, that it ends or concludes or whatever, and you have Armani Jackson kind of like running off, like, we're not bad people. And it's just like, I didn't know that this was such a big thing.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they were
really affect him.
I don't know if they were being more rude to him on the phone because they knew he was black, and so I think that could have been a race thing where they were deliberately being more rude and speaking down to him because they knew that he was a black man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that what the issues of race that it attempted to tackle is just I just thought they were poorly handled. I didn't feel anything there. You know what I mean?
It's interesting.
It didn't feel like a frank depiction, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
this is genuine.
Which is interesting because we don't see a lot of these types of movies where it involves middle class African American families living in predominantly white suburban neighborhoods. We don't see a whole lot of that in movies. I know that some TV shows are tackling it now, like that Blackish,
mm-hmm.
the Anthony Anderson one. But we don't see it a whole lot in movies, and I think that it is an interesting topic to look at, because anytime you hear about issues of race, you normally think about the extreme versions of that, and you look at how black people are treated in urban areas and more predominantly in like southern areas. And
I mean, they did get it like in one little scene, which felt a tiny bit, well, maybe it wasn't really forced. I guess it was a bit natural, when they're at the bar and he was like, if you close your eyes, you couldn't even tell that he's black. It's like, I've heard that before.
Yeah, I think
I've heard people say that.
So have I. And I think that if that's a topic that they were really looking to delve into with this movie, they should have done more things like that, where, it's in this, they're in this new area, they don't have their stuff, they're feeling a loss of identity, and all these people around them that seem a little too eager to get to know them just because they're black. And I feel like if they kind of went into that a little bit more, it would have been.
Well, they're also just, a lot of them are just weird. Like, that guy was just weird.
He was.
Did he have to be an erotic thriller writer? Like, that seems a bit much.
The chapter about butts or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just offers him drugs right away.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that guy felt just out of place.
Yeah, he was a caricature.
Yeah. It's just, none of this worked for me.
Yeah, unfortunately it didn't work for me too. And I heard good things about it. So yeah, Little Boxes, that's available now on VOD platforms. Let's go ahead and give it a score. Kevin, what are you going to give it?
I'll give it like a 5, 4.5, 5.
All right, I'm gonna go with a 5.5 on this one. Let's move on. Talk about something we're watching on the watch list. I saw Lupin III.
Ooh.
This is the live action Lupin III. I don't know if you remember. Do you remember the anime? They used to
Hell
always,
yeah, I remember.
they used to always play it
Yes.
on Cartoon Network. I think it was
Oh
on
my
Adult
god,
Swim.
yes. Yeah, I think you're right.
It was one of the early anime shows that they showed on Adult Swim.
Yeah, and then
Never liked it. Never was a big fan of Lupin III.
wasn't it? It ended up being like one of the shows that was on, at like the ungodly hour,
Mm-hmm.
like 4 in the morning or something.
Yeah, it
Or
was.
just go to a loop in the third.
They played like Lupin III, and what was that? Gigantor, or maybe that was Toonami. I think that might have been Toonami.
Is this the Kitamura?
Yes, it is.
That's weird because I watched the Kitamura movie too.
Really?
Yeah, that's weird.
Which one? What did you watch?
Midnight Meat Train.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, we'll get to that in a
You,
second.
you talk about Lupin, and then I'll talk about
Yeah.
Midnight Meat Train.
So this has been it's been a long time since I've seen a movie by this director. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but I'll say Ruhai Kitamura. He did Versus, which if you listen to, I guess it was last week's show, we talked about how Kevin and I used to frequently just blind buy Asian movies on eBay and just devoured these movies just nonstop for probably a year or so at least.
Yeah.
And one of the movies that I got was Versus, and we love. I mean, I don't remember if you loved it, but I loved Versus.
Oh yeah, because I have a Sumi.
And yeah, and that one was great too. Azumi was great.
Alive?
Alive was also great. And so I was a big fan of this director, and I felt like he came over to America and did Midnight Meat Train, and he did No One Lives, and then that's pretty much it. I think the last movie he did was No One Lives, which came out in like 2013 or something. Other than Lupin III, which was his latest movie, which came out in 2014. Anyway, Lupin, it's based on the popular anime series that's been going on for, I don't know, there were like 7 series of it or something. Started back in the 60s with a manga, and then they developed it into a show in, I think, the 70s at some point. Very popular over in Japan. It's about a group of thieves, and the live action movie wasn't great. It was one of these deals. I would compare it to maybe the Phoenix Wright movie, the Miyake one, where they tried to kind of make it basically a live action anime where they made it really, really over the top and sort of goofy in a lot of ways. The movie itself was over 2 hours long, and it felt like it was just never going to end. There were a lot of false endings, and while it was somewhat interesting, there were some kind of cool heist scenes in it. Overall, I just found it to be pretty forgettable. Unfortunately, there was some really, really stylish action sequences, but nothing too great. Unfortunately, a lot of it just came off as being really silly, really, really silly. A lot of really kind of dumb, illogical things happen in it, but it was slightly entertaining, I would say. So yeah, but I probably couldn't recommend it. And it's Lupin the Third.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Midnight Meat Train. This one I'm kind of like back and forth on.
I was a big fan of this one.
Now, the one thing, now you probably saw this back in 2008.
Yeah,
Right? So if you watch it now, the effects are, oh boy.
Are they bad?
Oh, they're CGI blood, like some of the worst that I think I've ever seen.
Oh,
no. It's so shiny. It just stands out. It's really shiny and it shimmers. It looks like silk. It looks like little pieces of silk fabric just floating in the wind.
Well, this is
right when it comes out of the, like, if a guy gets a mallet to the side of the face, it comes to like little ribbons of silk fly out instead of blood. It's kind of bizarre, and it's a bit jarring because you're just like, that's not blood. That doesn't look right. What the hell's going on here? And then what ends up happening is it becomes a bit humorous because it's so over the top, which maybe he had like a tongue-in-cheek thing going here. But, you know, when you couple that with the story that it's trying to tell, with the killer, his personality, it just doesn't seem to add up. I mean, there's one scene where a guy gets the mallet, and he's got this ridiculous oversized mallet. For the people that haven't seen this movie before, guy just gets hit in the back, and like they see him coming most times. They see him walking down with the mallet, and no one really does anything. They're just like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen. It's a mallet. What do you think's gonna happen? Gets smashed in the back of the head. Silk ribbons everywhere, just all over the place. And like his head turns, and there's this terrible effect of his eye. He hit him so hard in the back of the head that his eyes fly out. And it's right when his like face turns to the screen. So I don't know if it almost feels like it was made for 3D, because I'm pretty sure that he wanted to have the effect that like the eyes are coming out at you. And it was hilarious. And I didn't know Bradley Cooper was in this.
Yeah, he's like the main guy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. He's not good. He's not doing a good job.
I think this was had to be one of his first movies.
I'm pretty sure.
It had to be a really early one for him.
There's a couple of spots where it's just, some of his line delivery just, again, makes it really comical. But on one hand, I do appreciate where the story went. I was not expecting it to go where it went. Because at first I'm just like, this makes no sense. How can he be killing people on a train, doing his whole shtick with the butcher stuff, and never get caught? I mean, this is just ludicrous.
Yeah, it takes.
How does he never get blood on his suit? Why does he have to wear a suit? I don't understand any of this. And then once, it like teases you, and you're just like, oh shit, it's that kind of movie? And then when it explains it at the end, you're just like, you kind of got to hand it to him. You're like, you just went batshit with it.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes the supernatural to me for sure. And
that was the part that like, it kind of won me a little bit at the end, where I was like, wow, this is just batshit saying okay. But the bummer thing about that is much of this movie is a bit uneventful. There's not much going on.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's a lot of him just trying to find like Vinnie Jones again, right? Like him just trying to photograph him.
Yeah, and it's like, dude gets on the train all the time. Like, you learned that out pretty quickly. Like, just get on that train. And then he finally musters up the courage and he gets on that train, and he wishes he never did.
Yeah, things don't end. Spoiler, things don't end well for him.
I do love that, like, when he finally, like, he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to confront him on the meat train. And he goes to, like, the butcher place, like where he works. And for whatever reason, they just have aprons hanging, and they have a wall of, like, all these knives. I guess if you forget to bring knives that day, it's like a community board of knives that you can just take and use for workday. And he's, like, loading up like a superhero. It's like, oh my God, he's a superhero butcher. And then he like jumps on the train. Oh my goodness, so ridiculous.
Yeah, that's Midnight Meat Train. I mean, with a title like Midnight Meat Train, you almost have to think that they were going for a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek vibe with that movie.
Which I'm pretty sure they were, but they didn't. To me, they didn't go for it enough.
No, it was never really clear. I mean, everything in the movie's played straight, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I had a good time with it.
It was an alright time.
No, granted, I haven't seen it in many years, so I have to might have to revisit that one.
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
So if you get a chance, I think that's bizarre that we both watched Kitamura.
It's really weird. I started watching the new Mystery Science Theater 3000, and first of all, I should preface it by saying I was never a die-hard fan of that series. I liked the series. Mm-hmm. I've seen many of the episodes, but far from the full series up until this point. So I was like kind of a casual fan, I guess.
Yeah, I'm very much the same.
Like I liked it, but I wasn't in love with it like so many other people were. So when the new one was announced, I was pretty excited. I was really excited to see that it did so well on Kickstarter, and the new season or the new series is out now. So I decided to give it a look, and the thing that kind of struck me immediately was how true to the original series it really is. I mean, it feels the exact same, even though everybody, like, it's a whole new cast. Like you have Felicia Day and Patton Oswalt as the two kind of villains, and you have a new. It's not Joel anymore; it's Jonah, and it's even though it's like a new cast, it feels very much true to the original. Like all the transitions, with the cool kind of model work that they do to count down the movie and all of that stuff. Like all of that's there. They even have kind of commercial break transitions in it, even though it's like on Netflix, so they don't really need that, but they put them in anyway, just kind of as an homage to the original. So it feels very authentic to the original MST3K. So I watched the first three episodes, the first three movies, which were Reptilicus from 1961, Cry Wilderness from 87, and then The Time Travelers from 1964. Reptilicus and The Time Travelers are both these kind of cheesy sci-fi movies. The first one is about a giant reptile creature, like a kaiju style movie that's just terrible. And the other one is about these people who accidentally travel 100,000 years into the future. It's ridiculous, but it's pretty fun. I thought Reptilicus was actually kind of the weakest of the bunch. But Cry Wilderness, this is, out of the three, this is the one that I was all about this one. It was hilarious. It's about this kid who befriends Bigfoot, and none of the adults believe that Bigfoot's real. But then something happens where they have to believe in Bigfoot. And it is just, it's this family movie, sort of, but it's just so bonkers. I had a great time with it. Bigfoot loves Coca-Cola and transistor radios. So, Cry Wilderness, so far, out of the three that I watched, that one was the best one. The jokes in the show are pretty good. The way that Mystery Science Theater 3000 works is they're rapid firing jokes throughout the whole movie. And you need to understand that not a lot of them are going to land for you. You just need to kind of accept that. And if you accept that, then you'll go into it having a much more enjoyable experience. Because when those jokes do land, it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, when you kind of get in that, you're just throwing them out there.
Yeah.
They're not all going to stick.
Exactly. And they do a really wide range of jokes. They made a "you can't do that on television" joke, which I appreciated. There are a couple other really kind of obscure jokes that they threw out there that I was like, all right, clever. But so far, really enjoying it. It's on Netflix now, so you can check out the whole series. So I would suggest you do so. And Cry Wilderness, so far, my favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out at some point in time. Like I said, I'm a casual fan, so who knows when I'm gonna get around to that.
Yeah, and you don't have to watch them in order. Because they're just movies, so you
yeah, I might have to check out that one. Be friends, Bigfoot.
It's so bad, it's amazing.
Remake that shit. That's a good movie to remake.
I know.
Just pick those bizarre ones, remake them. I watched Varda's fourth film, right? It's called The Creatures. I'm a big fan of Varda, and this one is pretty underseen, right? It's not one of her more famous films, right? So kind of jumped at the opportunity to watch this on Movie.com, and man, I was not ready for what this movie entails. It's not like anything I've seen from Varda before. It's a bit experimental. It's slightly sci-fi, which I was not ready for at all. It's got the main couple, married couple at the center, Catherine Deneuve and Michelle Piccoli. They living in this like fishing town, right? She's a mute. She lives up in the tower. She doesn't ever come out. He goes into town occasionally, do some stuff. He's working on a new novel, right? And there ends up being mind control, right? You got these coins. You got these coins. And this guy uses two local little girls coins. Can control people. You can control their minds, make them do whatever you want, right? It's got Piccoli beating up a hotel staff with a dead cat. That's going on.
Okay. All right.
You're not 100% sure what's real and what's not. because a lot of it seems to be what he's writing.
Ah, one of
So
those.
so you're not even sure what the hell's going on half the time. You don't know if it's part of his novel that he's writing, or if it's real life, or who the hell knows. And then there ends up being more mind control where they go into this essentially like a chess game where they just control people and do like a real life game of chess and just try and it's essentially just relationships. The one guy's trying to keep couples together, the other guy's trying to destroy them, which is it's really bizarre. It's not anything that I would have expected from going into a Varda film. I would not be thinking, okay, I'm going to watch this Varda film, and more than likely it's probably going to be about mind control, like a sci-fi movie where they make people like this game of chess. I was not thinking that at all,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I ever would until now that I've seen The Creatures, and I know that that's in her repertoire.
Hmm.
So anything's possible with Varda, apparently. And the great, all that stuff is pretty bonkers out there. But a large portion of this, there's such a vitality to her filmmaking. It's just a lot of fun with the cuts, her tracking shots. When people are having their minds controlled, the whole screen will go red. There'll just be a red tint over everything, or kind of like a pinkish tint over everything. And that's great and all, and it is fantastic to watch. And it's just really exciting, even if you're not 100% invested in what's going on. But there is towards the end when they get into this like chess game thing of it, which has some great effects for 1966, but that energy kind of dies off towards the end. But overall, it's definitely worth a look. I mean, it is an interesting movie.
Okay, and that's The Creatures, available on Mubi right now.
Maybe. I don't know if it's still on there.
It might not be on there anymore.
Might not be. I don't know.
Well, transitioning from that, I saw Sandy Wexler, the new Adam Sandler joint.
You trying to get some sleep?
No, I mean, I didn't really. Yeah, I was cleaning. I was cleaning the apartment, and I didn't want to put anything on that I was gonna really have to dedicate, a lot of attention towards. So I figured I'll just throw on this Adam Sandler thing, see what this is all about.
What I would like you to do in the next year, okay? This is you have two things that you have to do for 2018. Two posts, all right? Number one has to be a list of the best movies to clean to.
I could do
Adam
that.
Patterson.
Yeah, I could do that.
The best movies to put you to sleep.
I could definitely do that.
Yeah. Those two lists.
Smurfs would be on the list. And then that Cronenberg one.
And all the Adam Sandlers.
Yeah, and every Adam Sandler Netflix one. So this is the best one out of the, what is it? This is the third one. This is the best one, but of course it's not saying anything. It's not saying anything at all because it's still terrible. It's so basically Adam Sandler plays this talent manager in Los Angeles in the 90s, and he finds this woman singing at Magic Mountain, and she's played by Jennifer Hudson, and she's amazing. So he kind of takes her under his wing and helps cultivate her into this giant Whitney Houston style celebrity. And holy crap, this movie is 2 hours and 11 minutes long. That is the first thing that you need to know about Sandy Wexler going into it. It is so long.
Is this the Sandler art house phase?
I'll say that it's the way this movie has a little bit of a different tone than his other ones. It's not as goofy and crass and stupid as his other movies, but it's does a lot of stupid and crass things. So it's like kind of in between one of his other Netflix ones and something like I don't know, Billy Madison or one of those. Little Nicky, I would put Little Nicky somewhere in there as well, because his voice in this kind of sounds like the Little Nicky voice.
Oh gosh!
But when you look at the cast, so you have your main Sandler crew. You have your Kevin James, your Nick Swartzen. These are normal kind of Rob Schneider too, of course, and he plays this like Israeli billionaire guy that seems highly racist in his role. But you have like Colin Quinn is in it. He's pretty funny. You have Terry Crews, and then you have a huge list of cameos and kind of guest spots. That's probably more than any other Sandler movie I've ever seen. I mean, it's unbelievable when you look at the cast list in here. You have like Jane Seymour is in it. She plays his like horny neighbor, which is very strange to see Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman in that kind of role. Arsenio Hall's in it. Quincy Jones, Weird Al, Babyface is in it. Mace is in it. Yeah. Rob Reiner, Chris Elliott. And then you have people like Chris Rock doing guest spots, and John Lovitz, and Judd Apatow's in there, and Penn Jillette, and the list just goes on and on. It's outrageous how many people are in this movie. And Pauly Shore's in it too.
Okay.
Vanilla Ice is also in it. So
this sounds so awful.
So the movie takes place in the 90s, so it's just chock full of these 90s pop culture references. Way too many 90s pop culture references. I will say that it made me laugh. I think there were maybe 2 jokes that made me laugh. I can't remember what they were right now, but it's still pretty much garbage, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
All right.
I don't know how many of these Netflix movies he signed on for. I remember when the news came out that he signed on for like 5 of them or something, and I remember reading like, "Oh my god, that's ridiculous. We're 3 deep now," and it's like, I want to. The thing about Adam Sandler is he can make good movies. I just don't get it. Like, I don't get. I mean, maybe he's just. I think we talked about this before. I think he's just having fun working with his friends and just having a good time. Like, I don't think he really cares about the movie itself.
Yeah. Did you get the cleaning done though?
I did, yeah. Well, the thing is, I got the cleaning done way before the movie was over.
I would imagine, yeah.
And I really hate turning off movies if I can avoid it. So I pretty much just, after the cleaning was done, I just sat there and dealt with it.
That's I like the mental picture of this is you ending up trying to find things to clean in order to get yourself out of having to sit down and watch it, because you're like, oh fuck, now I gotta watch this.
I was running the vacuum like on my like all around my baseboards and stuff, just to prolong it, just so I wouldn't have to hear his horrible voice.
Gets out Q-tips, gets down on the baseboards, soaking light plates.
2 hours and 11 minutes, Kevin. Like, it's unbelievable. It spans 20 years of this guy's career.
Seems unnecessary.
It's too much. It's unbelievable. Anyway, if you want to see it, it's on Netflix.
No thanks. I have one that's slightly shorter at 2 hours. Now, I'm going to talk about this, but no, right out from the bat, I haven't finished this yet. Okay, haven't finished it. I don't know if I'm going to. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. That's Birth of a Nation.
Oh.
From Nate Parker.
Okay.
This movie's not good.
I heard it wasn't good, but then then there was like all that controversy with him, and I was like, oh, I wonder if the movie's getting a bad rap because of that, if that's influencing people's reaction of it, or if it's actually just not good.
No, it's just bad. It's just bad. I mean, like, yeah, he's a rapist too, but it's bad.
He was acquitted. He was an accused rapist that was acquitted. So
he raped. It's a TV movie, is what it is, and it's not a particularly good TV movie. It's bad. I mean, it's the way it is. It's cut. It's just these little, like, I almost don't want to call them vignettes, right? They're just kind of like these little, like, bullet points where they're not even delved into that much. You're just kind of like, okay, here's a portion of the history. Okay, then we cut to the next little scene. Okay, this is another portion. Cut to the next scene. It's almost like you would see this at, like a museum where you're doing, it's a production with like local actors and a local filmmaker, and you're like walking from, like one little video to the next of like the history of Nate Turner. You're just going, Nat Turner. Sorry. I always get it mixed up because his name's Nate Parker.
I knew what you meant.
And it feels like that, and then they just put it all together. It's just, oof. It's tough to watch, and I mean, it's just so amateurish on like a really low level.
That's
Just
unfortunate
mm,
because I remember
mm.
when I first heard about it. I think it played Sundance or one of the
Yeah, they made
festivals.
it. They got bought for a ridiculous amount of money. Every person out of Sundance was like, "Oh my god, this is it. This is gonna be. It's gonna make so much money. It's so great and everything."
Yeah,
And yeah, and I was kind of like you too, where I was like, "Oh, I wonder if his past being brought up, if that's kind of affecting this." But once I watching this thing, I'm just kind of like, "What happened at Sundance? Like, what is this? What am I watching?
it's the
Like
altitude.
this." This is not. People thought this was good. Like, who the hell are these people?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably be skipping that, unfortunately.
Yeah, don't even waste your time.
All right, let's move on. Talk about some new releases next week in theaters. We have Free Fire, the new Ben Wheatley film.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty stoked about this. What do you think?
I'm interested in seeing this one. It feels as though this should have come out like last year.
Yeah,
Seems like like I heard about this movie for a decent amount of time for like weeks straight, like a year ago, and then I haven't heard anything, and now all of a sudden it's like Free Fire comes out.
yeah. I don't know what's up with that. I think it looks like a pretty good time. I like the aesthetic. I like the '70s aesthetic, and I like the idea that it appears as though the whole movie is going to take place in that one room, like that one warehouse,
Yeah,
and the
it's
whole
just gonna
movie
be
is just
them
going to be a
shooting.
shootout. I think that that's a cool.
Now, I do have to look up to see with that type of premise.
The
How
runtime.
long is this movie gonna be? Yeah, what's I'm not seeing it. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't see a runtime on it. I'm not sure. I think it should be manageable. I think.
Yeah, we'll see.
You also have Unforgettable. This is that one with Katherine Heigl, Rosario Dawson. Looks like a '90s movie. Not great.
No,
Tune into Ryan Watches movie this week, and we'll be talking about it more. The Promise. Not
which people are actually in that.
yeah. It's got a really bad poster.
Yeah, that's what kind of surprised because I was like that. That kind of looks like Oscar Isaac,
Yeah, it's Oscar Isaac, and
Christian Bale too.
yep. Don't know.
Hmm.
Don't know. Haven't heard too much about this one, so I don't know. I guess I'll be keeping an eye on it, see what's going on.
I think there's a reason you haven't heard about it.
There's a new Disney nature documentary, Born in China, which I think is about pandas. I'm sure that that'll be adorable.
God love them pandas.
Now, those Disney nature docs are pretty good. Like I've seen most of them. We get the Blu-rays for those, and they're pretty good. Phoenix Forgotten. I really don't know what this is all about. Based on shocking true events of March 13th, 1997, when several mysterious lights appeared over Phoenix, Arizona.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's not true.
No, so it's a looks like it could be found footage.
Yeah.
Could be looking at a found footage movie here.
No.
Which really we haven't had too many of those in 2017. I think the fad is waned a little bit. Thank goodness.
Yeah, and for the makers of Phoenix Forgotten, your movie should have came out like 6 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. Let's see what else we have here. The Student. We have Tomorrow. The happiest day in the life of Ollie Mackey or Maki.
Yeah, I'm actually. This is gonna be out on Mubi. If you got a movie subscription,
Cool. Yeah.
this looks pretty good.
Slack Boy.
Slack Bay.
Oh, whoops. Slack. I was thinking like, what? What is that? For some reason, the
Yes.
poster looks like boy to me.
Slack Bay.
Slack Bay.
This the new Bruno Dumont, which looks slightly interesting.
Yeah,
People like flying or floating.
yeah. Jeremiah Tower, The Last Magnificent. Citizen Jane, Battle for the City. That's pretty much it for next week on new releases. Let's look at some VOD stuff. We have A Matter of Time that comes out on the 18th. The 19th, we have Music to Madness, the story of Comatas. The Second Law, the further adventures of Ants and Bull in No Man's Land.
The what? The what? The what?
The further adventures of Ants and Bull in No Man's Land.
Okay.
Then on the 21st, we have Citizen Jane Battle for the City. Blu-ray next week. This is for Tuesday, April 18th. We have Soldiers of the Damned, Punching Henry, Love Thy Nature, Split, which is the M. Night Shyamalan one. You know, I didn't see it, but I heard the twist, and the twist makes me want to kind of give it a look, because the twist sounds pretty cool.
The twist what now?
For Split.
So this is one of those examples of a spoiler.
Yeah, that actually makes me want to see the movie. Yep. The Founder. Did you see The Founder? You didn't see that yet.
No, not yet.
I don't think you'll like it. It's a pretty average biopic. There's some moments, some good moments in there. Sleepless. That's one with Jamie Foxx that kind of came and went.
Yeah,
that one came and went so fast. I remember seeing ads on the side of buses for that movie, and I'm like, what is that movie? I still have not seen a single trailer for it or anything. It just kind of flew under the radar. And
it actually exists. I want to see like an actual physical copy of it, because I don't know. I don't think it actually exists at all. I think that's just an internet thing.
Could be.
It's one of those internet things.
It definitely could be. There's a new DC animated movie coming out. It's a Teen Titans movie. A League of Their Own is getting a Blu-ray release.
Really?
Yeah.
I figured that would already have one.
Yeah, maybe it's a 25th anniversary edition, so it is possible that there's some other version on Blu-ray out there. They might just be cashing in that 25th anniversary. Donnie Darko is also getting a re-release.
Yes, yeah.
It's been remastered. Came out in theaters for a short time, and now it's coming out on Blu-ray.
Hearing a lot of people gibbering about that Donnie Darko, and I'm just like
jibber-jabbering about some Donnie Darko.
I'm just like, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Talk about something else.
I have a feeling, because that was one of the movies that you and I'm pretty sure you loved it.
I did like it. Yeah.
I loved it when I was younger. Nowadays, I don't know. I don't know if it would speak to me on the same level that it did back then.
I mean, I'm sure I would still enjoy it, but I don't know.
I don't care enough to go see it again in the theater, buy this remaster or anything like that.
No, thanks. I mean, if it happens, it happens at some point in time. I'll see it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
What do we have on the old Criterion front next week?
We got a twofer. We have Buena Vista Social Club from Wim Wenders, 1999. It's that music doc. Around 1999. I remember this being huge.
It was huge. This movie was enormous. Everybody's listening to the soundtrack.
Yeah, everyone had that soundtrack, man.
Yeah.
That soundtrack was at the top of every single Borders shelf.
Yep. Every single coffee shop in America was playing it.
It's ridiculous. Every end cap was Buena Vista Social Club soundtrack. It was ridiculous. Every Borders had like 8,000 copies of that thing.
I never saw it.
They were all charging $19.99 for it.
Never saw the movie.
Why they went out of business. Me either. It took me a really long time to find out that it was a movie. I just thought it was a CD.
Like a cool compilation.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, okay. It's just like a compilation of Cuba music. All right. And then I think like 3 years later, I figured it out.
The very popular documentary.
Yes. Yeah. That's coming out on Blu-ray, but it'll also be available on iTunes. And Woman of the Year from 1942. This is from George Stevens, which I know absolutely nothing about. So maybe watch it. Don't watch it. I don't care. It's your life.
Well, there you have it. Next week on Blu-ray, I would probably... Man, I don't even know which of these I would pick up. I would probably pick up, I didn't mention it, but Arrow's putting out The Night Evelyn Came Out of the Grave from 1971.
I just saw that on Twitter. I was like, that movie sounds great.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be
my pick. That would be my pick too.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @filmpulsenet and @filmpulsekevin. If you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/filmpulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.